state is being fiscally run very well. We talk about this session, this past session. Everybody reads about what happens at the Capitol, and everybody says you guys were fighting, and yeah, we were fighting. And I'm a little bit disappointed in the level in which our fights got to, but let me tell you in the end what it means to you. We're a deliberative body. We should argue. The representative from Johns Creek should have a very different perspective than the representative from Albany, Georgia, and what they think state government ought to do. And I'll tell you what we got to fighting most about, which I think is good news. We spend most of our time talking about how are we going to give money back to you in this tenuous economy with fuel prices out of control, cost everything out of control. How are we going to give money back to you instead of how are we going to hoard it and take in more? Our discussion and our fights were about tax cuts. And Speaker of the House went around the state last year talking about his idea of tax cuts, tax reform, really. And it sort of morphed into a tax cut idea that I and others in the House have been championing for years, which is the elimination of what I call the birthday tax, which is the ad valorem tax you pay on your vehicles, personal vehicles, of all days, your birthday. I've always thought that's patently wrong. I mean, government is rarely right, but it is very wrong when it charges you a tax on your birthday, unless you're unlucky enough to be born on April 15th, and if you are, I'm sorry for that. But otherwise, you shouldn't be paying a tax on your birthday. I don't think you should be paying a tax at all on your personal vehicle because you get taxed enough on your car to begin with. When you buy it, you pay a sales tax when you buy it. You pay it when you get your new tires. When you fill it up, you pay a tax, a state and federal tax, sales and excise tax. When you fill up at a crazy rate that we're filling up at today, you pay a fee when you get your driver's license. You pay a fee when you get your emissions test. So I don't know that there's any asset that's taxed more than your personal automobile. And it is amazing what you can do to consumer confidence when you cut taxes. And it's a very simple theory. And some subscribe to the idea that government needs to take in and take in and take in. But we believe, at least this majority at the General Assembly believes, that you cut taxes, the economy grows. The economy grows, then people prosper. And they'll spend more money. And when the government gets more money in the end, not that that's what I want you to do, but it stimulates a way of thinking. Right now, a lot of people are looking at this thing as the glass is half full, and rightfully so. There's the housing market, the stock market, all the markets out there aren't doing so well. But bottom line is we got consumed in that tax cut discussion. And for the first time, I think this is the good news, the first time in history in the General Assembly, your state representatives and senators went to work in January, and I think from henceforth, we'll go to work in January. Instead of looking at all this additional money I talked about, your economy, our revenues grow, how we spend it, the discussion is going to be enthralled in how we give it back. And that's a cultural shift in policy that I think that hasn't been played up a lot in the media. Because it's great to cover fights. I mean, I know that. I mean, believe me, it's juicy stuff, and it's a good read, and it's a soap opera about the differences between the House, the Senate, the governor, and the speaker, and lieutenant governor, and so forth. But we consumed ourselves, I think, with some positive things too. People talk about we didn't, in the end, come up with a permanent funding mechanism to solve transportation. No, we didn't. Unfortunately, we didn't. We came close, but we did put money in the budget. Some $240 million in bonds in the budget, which you match with leverage with federal funds, some 8-to-1. That's a lot of money to relieve congestion. Water, absolutely, water is at the forefront of everybody's mind. And if you don't have water, you can't do much. You can't live. We spent over $100 million to enhance and build new reservoirs. And it does need to rain to fill up those holes that we build. It's got to rain. But we've got a little ahead of ourselves in our growth in Georgia, but I think we can do some catch up. So we addressed transportation, we addressed water.